Hey guys, Crowbar Zero, and another episode of Pump on My Tower. Looking at EF's tower, and I looked a little bit into it beforehand, but for the most part, I took a little bit of a break, came back, and now we're at it. So this one is they're kind of at this point where they're like, I feel like I'm stuck. I don't know where to proceed from here. And yeah, this one was a little bit on the tougher side. So we'll just start out, we've got the modules. I guess right now this is their farming setup. Um, and the first thing I think of when I see Dimension Core is this should probably be your tournament module eventually. Maybe not right now, but it definitely should be down the road. And especially with Chain Lightning, you're not going to be able to control when it goes off because it's a percent based off your, how many bullets you're shooting at. So if you're trying to horde enemies near you, um, that's not going to work out very well. But we're going to look at some other stuff here. So this is what their labs are right now. Going for wall forts, a little bit, health there. Shatter shards, that's awesome that you're able to tackle this. This is an extremely powerful lab. Missile radius is about partway developed, so they've got a little bit going on over here already. So that's nice. Super tower, this one, we're going to replace this with something else. So this is really good for bullet damage. And much farther down the road for the mastery for Super Tower, but for now, this might not be the best for you. It's been a few days since. Actually, it's been. Let's see. Oh no! That's today that you said this. So I let them know that theirs is next, and they could update me on what they've got. So yeah, definitely let this lab finish up. Um, Now let's see, we've got golden bot duration left. Okay. Alright. And they're saying that sometimes they're getting some weird variants where there's quite a bit of difference in the coins earned. Sometimes that can also just be like and not going as far. So we will get into that in a bit. It's their target priority for I would bring Protector up a little bit higher. And then let's go with. So it would be basic Protector. Let's go with in Spotlight. And then we'll do. We'll do. I think it will be Boss, Elites after that. So closest is going to be down at the bottom. Reason being, basics aren't going to give us a lot, so when all of our econ goes off, we want as many basics gone as possible already. But unfortunately, right now, if I recall, you don't have smart missiles synchronized with your econ. So this probably isn't doing a whole lot for you. I would say let's go with. This is just a temporary. We might want to do like in spotlight enemies. and work our way down as far as enemy values. So like boss, elites, protectors, yada yada yada. Making our way down. Um, I'm gonna pull up the ultimate weapons so we can kind of see that together. All right. So we got 3 minute cooldown on smart missiles, 4 minute cooldown on death wave. We've got maxed out cooldown over here, so that's 100 seconds. Pretty good duration. We've got GT Plus that we're in the process of developing. And just a note, for GT Plus, a huge chunk of that is based off duration. So the more duration you have, the more it feeds into the GT bonus and getting that as high as possible. And then it's only for, like, if you're hoarding enemies, GT Plus does not play well into that strategy. So at this point, what I'm looking at here is more of a transition into not hoarding enemies as much. So yeah, we're actually going to change this target priority. We're not even going to worry about hoarding enemies. We're gonna go in spotlight, boss, elites, and then just going down the line until basics are pretty much towards the very end. So yeah, we're going with that. We're not gonna go with what we mentioned earlier. I feel like I was giving bad advice earlier. Since we've got spotlight and decent coverage, actually really decent coverage. Yeah. Give me a second. So we got max cooldown over here. I think you mentioned that you have max uptime with Black Hole with your ancestral GCOM. And then I think you said that there was like 10 seconds that you didn't have uptime on Golden Tower. We have. Okay, Galaxy Compressor. We got max package chance. That's great. Okay. Great. Maybe eventually instead of recovery amount, you could do cash. That would be good. Like cash per kill. And yeah, wouldn't change anything here. If I remember at the stage of the game that you're at, this will still be good. And Dimension Core, we're going to repurpose this to something else. So yeah, you should have about 100% uptime with GCOM. But I think before we go more into the speed reduction, we're going to need to get some of our tools up and running a little bit better than what they currently are. Um, hmm. I mean, yes, eventually this will be nice to get up to 100% uptime, or eventually, going beyond that with GT Plus. But I think we really need to get some of our the basic of everything set up first. Um, I think this is going to be something for much later. So yeah, I think all of our weakness is right here. Right in this picture. And so we've got several things going on. One, Death Wave, this is holding your econ back. We've got smart missiles that are holding your damage back. And then we have Chain Lightning that's not spreading around the shock, which goes well with Dimension Core, especially because you've got Mythic right now. So, holding back in tournament progress, holding back in tournament progress, holding back your econ. And so, for your econ, you're going to want to. You're not going to do any more damage. You're going to max out your cooldowns. And you're going to max out your quantity. So you're at kind of this interesting pivot point. Let's go over to the modules. So for the modules, you're going to want an Ancestral Multiverse Nexus eventually. And this is going to be what you're going to be farming with. You're not going to be farming with Dimension Core. Dimension Core is eventually, we're going to put that towards tournament. But for now, I would say maybe you could use Ohm Chip for your tournament module, and then transition out of this much later on once you've got this and the Dimension Core at Ancestral, and you've got better development on your Chain Lightning. So with Multiverse Nexus, once you reach Ancestral for that, and just quick glance, it looks like you probably need. Yeah, it looks like you're going to need 4 copies. So this might be a while. Oh, actually, no, there's probably some stuff underneath that I'm not seeing. Yep, there's stuff underneath that I'm not seeing. So, yeah, we're going to get this at Ancestral. We're going to go with minus cooldown for Deathwave and G-Comp. So there's 2 slots. We're going to go with Deathwave quantity on this. And then we're going to go with Spotlight Angle. So those are going to be the 4 big ones that you're going to go for. And then after that, you're going to go for GT duration. After that, you can do GT bonus. It's not going to be as important as GT duration, but yeah, that's what I would go with on your Multiverse Nexus once you get that up there. Ohm chip, or yeah, for now using this. Well, actually, wait. Hmm. So own chipping can kind of go both ways. You could use it for farming. You could use it for tournaments. Yeah, well, we just you've got a bunch of stuff rolled onto this, so we'll just use this for now until we can get this up and running. Over here, I'm thinking I'm going to recommend going the Death Wave route. Further down on the chat, you were mentioning that you kind of do Death Wave, Death Wall farming anyway, as part of how you farm. So what that looks like is, Death Wave goes out, you've got a Death Wave kind of wall of death that enemies pop on. This is going to give you more death waves things that spawn, which means that pool of damage is going to grow faster as a result, and eventually we're going to get this to the point where you've got 100% uptime. Or effectively 100% uptime between the cooldown maxed out and the quantity and all the things on Multiverse Nexus. And to be able to hold that all up as possible. The lab that's going to give you the most value. Where are we going to look at for that? It's not a bad chunk. Is going to be Deathwave Amp. So if you've constantly got your Deathwave effect waves going out, this one is really going to shine. Because if they're always going to take an effect wave hit before they hit your Deathwave death wall, you effectively have Deathwave Plus right here. You don't need to, spend a ton of stones. You can just use the lab to crank up the effective life that you have in that death wall. But you have to have it going off constantly to be able to get that effect. And all of that ties into using Multiverse Nexus. So that's going to be probably a lab that you want to do. Let's check out the. Okay. You've got great progression here, and you're already doing the shatter shards. So yeah, a lot of value in the shatter shard lab. I think you probably have the duration on your favorites, which is why it's not there. I wouldn't touch waves required anymore. You have more than plenty. But if you eventually get around to BAM Perks 8, that's a lot of fun. That makes things a lot easier as far as like weeding out the perks so you can get the best possible lineup as possible. You've got a ton of auto pick rankings, so you're probably already just going through matches. Got everything lined up pretty well right there. Okay. Double Death Ray is kind of one of those weird ones where it used to be really, really good. It's lost a lot of value over time. And even with the mastery for Death Rave, or Death Ray, you can probably just leave this as is. Eventually, Recharge Nuke will have a lot of value, but that's down the road once you're accessing masteries. Chain Lightning did get, or Chain Thunder got a little bit of a nerf. I'd say a little bit more than just a little bit. I wouldn't put much into this, just because of the percentages on everything, like how much damage you have to do with Chain Lightning. Once you get Chain Lightning Plus, at that point I would start labbing this hard, but until then, you're fine where this is at. Lightning Amp Scatter, this is actually pretty good. You don't need a ton of Chain Lightning damage to just for this to just shoot through the roof. It's really really good. Death Wave armor stripping, not a lot of value there. I don't even think I've touched this lab myself, so I would say don't waste your time on it. And then the Poison Swamp. um, wow, you definitely took this a lot farther than me. For Poison Swamp, um, oh wait, that's just the option. So very late end game. I would say you're in the end game territory if you are investing in this. This is basic enemies. Yeah, you got all of the enemy options unlocked. So that would be more like you're using Poison Swamp to help with ultimate tanks because they're really slow. But this is like I wouldn't touch this or worry about Poison Swamp damage until you are so like you're a lot farther than me. Your account is probably closer to where I'm at compared to me being close to some of the people that are actually getting something viable use wise out of this. So if that gives you any sort of perspective on like how far out it takes to make Poison Swamp viable, yeah, I'll just paint that picture for you. Yeah, recharge missile barrage. That's fine. Um, missile amp. You're absolutely gonna want to get this. This should be in your favorites because this is what is going to make smart missiles hit like a fully loaded semi. Like, this is it, yeah. So I like to say bullet damage is great. It's like punching your enemies. Then you move up a tier to like chain lightning damage. And chain lightning damage is like hitting them with a car now. No, it's decent. It's pretty good. And then you get into smart missiles, and that's like taking a semi and just whacking your enemies. Um, yeah. Hopefully that scaling helps paint that picture of how significant um, smart missiles and smart missile damage is. You've got poison and missile radius, yeah. Missile damage or the missile amp and missile radius are just absolutely crucial for smart missiles. Eventually, once you get all of that stuff done, you can take a look at Poison Swamp. You've actually developed this pretty significantly, and this is where this is a huge. I mean, Poison Swamp takes a long time to develop, and you're developing it specifically for the stuff. And it takes a long time, and it doesn't feel like you're making much, if any, sort of progress with it. Um, but it is helpful for managing bosses, rays, ranged enemies, fast enemies. Um, it is useful, but it's mostly useful in a tournament setting versus just general use. If I remember correctly, there is. So yeah, missile radius, high priority. Um, once oh Shock chance. Okay, so you've got, wow, you developed a lot in shock. Um, yeah. um, so to really make the shock shine, you're gonna need more chain lightning quantity and chance. Until then, you're not getting a lot out of this for the time being. Inner landmine stuff, those labs are going to be more for delaying the boss from hitting you, or general enemies, but mostly for bosses. But you really need to get smart missiles developed before you dip into this. And same thing with poison swamp stuff. You're going to want, let's see, let's say smart missiles labs, get those developed, and then I would say maybe you could finish out a little bit of poison swamp and then inner landmine related stuff. But you've got a lot of lab time that you need to knock out with like missile amp and all of those. I think that's probably holding you back like a lot. Let's see, we've got. Okay, so you do have spotlight missiles. So that's a very, very good thing. So for tournament progress, just getting missile amp and um, the missile radius are going to be really, really crucial. Probably also dipping in a little bit into the damage side here. So the damage over here, that'll be good. Where you're at right now as far as progression and everything, I'm thinking cooldown and quantity first for Deathwave, especially because you're going to be able to benefit more. You'll be able to get more cells with that lab that I think you already knocked out. I don't remember it looking like you didn't. Um, you're going to finish this. You're going to dump a moderate amount into damage, and then you're going to go for cooldown. And a little bit of quantity too. But you're going to really hit that cooldown hard for smart missiles. So you're going to be able to start using this and hitting like a truck on a consistent basis. It maxes out at 20 seconds. It's pretty expensive, but it's absolutely amazing. And then quantity. Because it's going to be how often you hit enemies and get that stacking amp going. That's where quantity, like you're really going to start seeing good damage out of this. After that, I would say, so let's say smart missiles until like, so you do this until you're hitting about 100 stones for the cost, within like 100 to 200 range. Knock these out. Cost equivalent to like over here. Knock that cooldown out as quickly as possible. That should, you'll get a lot of reduction early on. Um, and then once you've got this done, okay-ish damage here. Quantity around, I would say 12 to, yeah, let's say 12. Let's go with chain lightning quantity and chance. This is going to help you tear through armored units. You're mostly going to use this in tournament. Once you get this up, what you already have as far as labs done in chain lightning, you're going to be putting shock on enemies so quickly and so easily. That's when your dimension core is really going to start shining, and you'll want that for sure for your tournament module. So as far as devolving your stats, yes, we're going to do that. And you've got pretty good spotlight coverage. I mean, eventually, after you get some of those other things done that I mentioned, um, and a few more seconds into GT duration, after kind of going through your big weak points that are all right in here. So, like here, all of this, and these two for chain lightning. I would say at that point, let's get quantity 4. Probably boost up your GT duration. Oh, sorry, over here. Probably also boost up a little bit of your speed reduction. And then, like inner landmines, I would go for quantity 6. That goes pretty quickly. And as for cooldowns, I don't have the value off the top of my head. But you'll want it roughly so that between every single boss that you come across in tournaments, you've got a refresh on the mines. Because the mines are going to be there to stun the boss, and that's pretty much it. Um, hmm. Long picture sideways. Um, so it doesn't show for the viewers, but you don't have extra orbs checked. So I'm thinking you might want to use that. Hmm. But I'm trying to see where you might put something in versus take out. Ultimate crit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Actually, let's leave your cards what they are. During a farming run, you're going to turn off chain lightning. You can keep smart missiles on. You can definitely keep Deathwave on, because you're trying to farm with that wall. But what you're going to do, specifically to try to benefit as much as you can for the Spotlight coin bonus, we're going to go with target priority Spotlight. Yeah, let me see where the target priority. So Spotlight at the top, and then just go down in value for like what enemy gives you the most coins to what enemy gives you the least coins. We're going to try to focus on single target damage. So you can leave critical chance and critical factor max, that's fine. You can devo this for now, as well as damage per meter. You can take that down to nothing, and I would keep this down at nothing. Now, once it comes to the point where, because I think he mentioned that like it takes you 100 waves or like 180 waves to charge up Berserk. Once you've got Berserk charged, and you've got Death Wave up and running, at that point, actually, you might even want to take a critical chance down, just when you're building that, trying to build up your Berserk. That might make it a little bit easier. Maybe not. Either way, you probably don't need to change this a whole lot. After you get your Berserk done, you're going to max out attack speed, you're going to max out damage per meter, and you're going to max out rapid fire chance. And because you're preferentially targeting enemies in Spotlight, once enemies break through your wall, your Death Wave Death Wall, you're going to be just rapid firing all of those enemies that are in Spotlight to benefit from that bonus. So ideally, you should be getting better coin gain after your Death Wave Death Wall has fallen. And yeah, these you can continue to raise up. I wouldn't worry about thorn damage so much. You could bring that up. You're worried about things that are going to steal kills. So like orbs, you're doing good there. That's going to steal kills from Spotlight. Shockwave size, that's fine if you want. Since you have Black Hole up nearly 100% of the time, I don't think it's as crucial per se for your build. There we go. Landmine chance, you're going to leave that at 0. You can raise the landmine damage, though. That's not a problem. It looks like slowly you're working on these, so cool. Got the free ups taken care of. That's awesome. And good as far as the enemy health level skips. Yeah. So I think the big thing is your glaring weaknesses are right in this picture, and the labs associated with, well, the labs associated with these two, not so much over here. But yeah, I think you can get that rolling relatively. Not, it's gonna take a while, but you'll see a lot of improvement, especially getting these two progressed. And then coming up and getting this one done as well. Anyway, kind of all over the place as I was taking stuff in, so whatever I said later on, take that advice, and yeah, I hope that's helpful for you. And I will catch you guys later.